Indeed, the world is marking the World NGO Day, celebrated every 27th of February every year. And this is a very important day, recognizing the role and the efforts played by the both national NGOs, international NGOs, and this includes the United Nations as well in that great contribution. So the 2023 theme is actually focusing on contributions and impact of NGOs in achieving sustainable development goals and promoting human rights and addressing social and environmental issues. The theme also zeroes around recognizing the role of NGOs as agents of change. The NGOs play a very, very crucial role as agents of change, fostering partnerships and collaborations to achieve shared goals. So the work done by both IINGOs and NNGOs, their work is all geared towards achieving shared goals. And also NGOs do play a very great role, especially in building capacities and protection of human rights, building capacities of communities and individuals and communities. For example, we had a couple of GBV training on a project called Mainstreaming Gender in Security Sector, where we trained both security sector and the community mixed together. It was the first time that the community could interact with the organized forces and the police, the wildlife, the national security, the SSPDF, all groups wildlife. So during the trainings on gender-based violence, how we can prevent and stop gender-based violence, we could hear members, people who are trained saying, my husband used to beat me, but after the training, he has stopped beating me, and I wish you could do bring all the other married people, married couples in the community to have this training so that we don't see violence done against women and against men in the community. So you can see that such trainings are eye-opening and they can help people to prevent violence that has been happening. So in terms of GBV, we did a lot of trainings on GBV where we have had positive feedbacks from the beneficiaries.
Well, based on my experience with the Youth Media Initiative South Sudan and the activities they have been doing across the schools that are doing journalism, the capacity is very low because they don't get direct funding from the donors. They just partnered with maybe local NGOs that have funds or international NGOs. But then, if those fundings were channeled directly to the NGOs, it would be better. They can offer us various activities that can improve our learning skills across the universities. So the funding to these local NGOs is really, really very poor.
One of the biggest challenges that the national NGOs are facing, especially because I work for a national NGO, is one of the global agendas is localization of funding. There have been this initiative of localizing funding to national NGOs because the national NGOs are directly with the people. And so one of the challenges is that we have been hearing about the agenda of localization of funding, but it's very difficult still for national NGOs to get huge funds to do what they want to do for their communities. So much of the funds go you find that international NGOs and UN agencies get more funding compared to the national NGOs. And you have to get funding probably through an international NGO or in consortium. So that's one of the biggest challenges is funding. We are not funded enough the way international and UN agencies are funded. And the other challenge is that there's lack of connectivity in the country. Some of the bombers, the Payams, the counties, the roads are so bad, and moving in those locations is very, very, very challenging. And some of the locations you may need to fly, which is a bit costly. To reach those places, it becomes costly. So the challenge of roads And sometimes insecurity, it's one of the challenges that is affecting our work. There's much say on capacity of national NGOs, but mostly it's not every national NGO that doesn't have capacity, but indeed like CBOs and other upcoming national NGOs that are not yet experienced, there's need to build their capacity, and there's need to support the national NGOs so that they can deliver the way the international NGOs deliver.